You know that moment, the one where nothing huge even happened. Your partner takes a little too long to reply. Their tone feels flatter than usual. You ask, "Are you okay?" And they say, "I'm fine." But the room changes anyway. And suddenly, you're sitting right next to someone you love, feeling weirdly far away from them. Your chest tightens. Your mind starts racing. You replay their face, their silence, that one text, that sigh. And now it's not just about this moment anymore. It's about every moment that ever made you feel unwanted. Did I do something? Why do I feel so stupid right now? Why does this hit me this hard? Am I too much? Are they pulling away? Is this how it starts? Here's the truth most people miss. Rejection in relationships doesn't hurt this deeply because you're needy. It hurts this deeply because your nervous system experiences disconnection like danger. So no, you're not broken, you're not weak, and you are not failing at love. Every person who has ever cared deeply has stood exactly where you're standing. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why rejection and fear situations hit so hard, why they create patterns that quietly sabotage connection, and how to respond in a way that builds safety instead of more distance. Let's get into it. Most couples believe rejection is about what happened on the surface: a delayed text, a cold tone, a canceled plan, a partner needing space. But the real truth is, rejection is usually about what your body believes that moment means. That's the part beneath the surface. That's the part no one taught you. Because your partner's nervous system is reading you before their mind can catch up. And yours is doing the same thing. So when one of you feels distance, criticism, withdrawal, or even subtle emotional drift, the body often reacts first and explains later. That's why something small can feel huge. Most people think fear in relationships means something is wrong with the relationship. But a lot of the time, fear is just old attachment pain getting activated inside a current connection. It's not always we're incompatible. Sometimes it's an anxious nervous system saying, "Please don't leave me," and a withdrawn nervous system saying, "Please don't overwhelm me," while both people are secretly longing for the exact same thing: safety. And here's what changes everything. When safety leaves a relationship, love doesn't always disappear. It goes underground. It starts coming out sideways, as defensiveness, as silence, as overthinking, as needing reassurance, as acting like you don't care when you care too much. So this video is not about becoming less emotional, not about being chill all the time, not about pretending rejection doesn't affect you. It's about learning to understand the cycle clearly enough that fear stops driving the car. And once you see that, your whole relationship starts to make a lot more sense. 1. The small moment that feels huge. Here's the part no one talks about. Most couples don't get thrown off by giant betrayals first. They get thrown off by tiny moments that quietly hit an old wound. Most people in relationships tell themselves they're overreacting. But the deeper truth is that rejection rarely lands on a clean surface. It lands on history. It lands on the part of you that already knows what it feels like to be dismissed, misunderstood, replaced, or emotionally left alone. So when your partner gets distant, your nervous system doesn't just read the moment, it reads the memory attached to the moment. Like a smoke detector that cannot tell burnt toast from a house fire, your body sounds the alarm either way. So the disconnecting version sounds like this. "Why are you being weird?" "Nothing, forget it." "See, you always shut down." But the connecting version sounds like this. "Hey, something shifted for me just now. I know this may not be what you meant, but part of me felt a little rejected. Can you help me understand what's going on?" That's not insecurity talking. That's awareness talking. And when you do that, the walls between you start to come down before the argument even has a chance to begin. 2. Fear turns curiosity into control. And this is the one most couples never figure out. Most couples think if they ask enough questions, explain enough, text enough, or press enough, they'll feel more connected. But here's the deeper truth. Fear doesn't usually make you more honest. It makes you more controlling. Not always in obvious ways. Sometimes it looks like over-explaining. Sometimes it looks like repeated, "Are you mad at me?" Sometimes it looks like trying to force a conversation before your partner is emotionally available enough to have one. When one partner feels rejection, they often reach for certainty, fast, because uncertainty feels unbearable. And the other partner often feels that pressure as demand, not connection. So now one person is saying, please come closer, while the other person's nervous system is hearing, you are not safe unless you perform right now. And inside him, something is saying, if I say the wrong thing, this gets worse. Inside her, something is saying, if I stop pushing, I disappear. Not louder conversations, not more explaining, not forcing closure at 11:47 p.m., but two people who feel safe enough to slow the moment down and stay real inside it. The disconnecting version sounds like this. Why are you pulling away? Just talk to me. Why can't you ever just talk to me? The connecting version sounds like this. I really want to reach you right now. I also don't want to chase you into more shutdown. Can we come back to this in 20 minutes and actually be present with each other? That shift matters, because that's when your partner stops feeling like a problem to solve and starts feeling like a person you can gently turn toward. 3. Reassurance is not the same as safety. This is where it gets really interesting. Most couples think the cure for rejection fear is more reassurance. And yes, reassurance helps, sometimes a lot. But reassurance without deeper safety is like pouring water into a cup with a crack in it. You feel better for a minute, then the fear comes back. Because the real issue usually isn't, did they say the right words? It's, do I trust the emotional ground beneath this relationship? That's a different question, a deeper one. Most people in relationships keep trying to solve fear with repeated proof. Tell me you love me. Tell me we're okay. Tell me you're not leaving. But when rejection sensitivity is high, the nervous system is often too activated to hold the reassurance for long. What it needs is consistency, presence, repair, a felt experience of, when I get scared, we know how to come back. The disconnecting version sounds like this. Do you even want this relationship? Of course I do. Why do you always do this? I don't know, because I never feel secure with you. The connecting version sounds like this. I know you said we're okay. What would help me even more is feeling us actually repair this together. Can we slow down and reconnect instead of just ending the conversation? This isn't a communication hack. This is what emotionally mature love starts to look like. And when you practice that, the relationship stops feeling like a test you're trying to pass and starts feeling like a refuge your body can finally believe in.
4. Withdrawal is often fear in disguise. But here's what nobody explains. Most couples treat the withdrawn partner like the one who cares less. That's not always true. Sometimes the withdrawn partner is just the one whose fear goes silent, whose overwhelm looks like distance, whose attachment pattern learned a long time ago that silence is safer than being exposed. What looks cold from the outside is often panic on the inside. He feels flooded. She feels cornered. They feel misunderstood in completely opposite directions. Most people in relationships only know how to interpret withdrawal one way: rejection. But the deeper truth is that withdrawal is often protection. Not healthy protection, not mature protection, but protection. Because when someone has spent years feeling like conflict leads to shame, failure, or emotional chaos, their nervous system may choose retreat before their words even form. Her brain is quietly registering, if I stay in this conversation like this, I'm going to lose myself. The disconnecting version sounds like this. Oh, so now you're shutting down again. Nice. Forget it. Exactly. You never show up. The connecting version sounds like this. I can feel you leaving the conversation. I don't want to attack you for that. Can you tell me if you need space? Or if you need help staying with me? That question changes everything. Because sometimes the most loving thing you can do is stop treating withdrawal like proof of indifference and start seeing the fear beneath the surface. And that's the shift that turns a relationship that feels like a negotiation into one that feels like emotional shelter. 5. Rejection gets healed in the repair, not the perfection. Here's the part most people miss completely. Most couples believe strong relationships are the ones where rejection doesn't happen very often. But the real truth is, strong relationships are the ones where rejection doesn't stay unrepaired. That's it. That's the game. Because you will miss each other. You will get triggered. You will have moments where one of you reaches and the other doesn't know how to receive it. That's human. That's real. The damage comes when those moments just sit there, unspoken, stacking up like scar tissue over 100 tiny cuts no one went back to tend. Not perfection, not mind reading, not becoming endlessly agreeable, but learning how to come back after impact and say, I see what happened there, and I want to meet you in it. Most people in relationships wait too long to repair because they're still trying to decide who is right. But repair is bigger than being right. Repair says, your pain matters to me, even if my intention was different. And when a partner hears that, something in them says, I'm not crazy, I'm not alone, I matter here. The disconnecting version sounds like this. I already said sorry, what else do you want? The connecting version sounds like this. I've been thinking about that moment. I can see how alone you felt with me. I don't want to just move past it. I want to repair it with you. That is not weakness. That is leadership in love. And when you do that, your partner stops bracing for the next rupture and starts trusting that even when you miss each other, you know how to find your way back. 6. You don't need less need. You need cleaner need. And honestly, this one will free a lot of you. Most couples think the goal is to need less, to be less affected, to be less vulnerable. But cleaner love is not loveless love. You are allowed to need. You are allowed to long. You are allowed to want reassurance, closeness, presence, tenderness, and emotional availability. The problem is not need. The problem is when need comes out sideways, as accusation, as testing, as keeping score, as saying, it's fine, when your whole body is screaming that it's not. Most people in relationships were never taught how to speak from the soft layer first. They speak from armor, because armor feels safer. But armor rarely creates connection. It creates defense. So instead of saying, you never make me feel wanted, try, I miss feeling chosen by you lately. Instead of saying, you clearly don't care, try, when you pulled away like that, it touched a fear in me I'm trying to explain without blaming you. And man, hear me on this. This isn't a trick for avoiding conflict. This is what it looks like when someone learns to love without abandoning themselves in the process. When you do that, your partner doesn't just hear your complaint, they hear your heart. And that's when turning toward each other starts feeling possible again. 7. Safety is built in the next 30 seconds. And here's what changes everything. Most couples think relationship security is built in the big talks, the vacations, the anniversary posts, the dramatic breakthroughs. But real safety is usually built in the next 30 seconds, in the tiny choice right after the trigger, in whether you stay present, in whether you get defensive, in whether you soften, in whether you reach for understanding instead of the old pattern. Intimacy is not built in the grand gesture. It's built in the glance up, the exhale, the pause, the hand on the leg, the, hey, come here, the, I know we're off, I'm still with you. Most people in relationships underestimate how powerfully these micro moments reshape the nervous system. Because every time fear expects abandonment and gets presence instead, a new pattern begins forming. Every time she expects dismissal and gets attunement, her body starts learning, maybe I don't have to brace like this anymore. Every time he expects criticism and gets warmth, something in him relaxes and says, maybe I can stay. The disconnecting version sounds like this. Partner 1, you seem far away. Partner 2, I said I'm fine. Can we not do this? The connecting version sounds like this. Partner 1, you seem far away. Partner 2, yeah, I am a little, but I don't want to leave you out here alone with that feeling. Give me a second and stay with me. That's it. That small. And when you live that way, the relationship stops being a place where fear gets confirmed and starts becoming the place where fear finally begins to heal. So if rejection has been hitting hard in your relationship, this is what I want you to remember. This is not proof that you are too much to love. It's proof that your heart is trying to protect something precious. And now you get to learn how to protect it better. This isn't a checklist. It's an invitation to become someone who can stay present inside hard moments without letting fear write the whole story. Someone who knows how to name what's real, hear what's unspoken, and build connection with intention instead of waiting for it to happen by accident. That changes everything. Because when you internalize this, you stop reacting from old pain and start responding from earned emotional maturity. And your partner will feel that before you've even said a word. These aren't just tips for a better relationship. They're the beginning of becoming the kind of partner you always wished someone could be for you.